Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. I'm so glad you're here. We have so much to talk about. Yes, I'm still talking about this, but I have a good one for you today. So buckle up and get ready. We're going to have some laugh at some funny memes. I want to give a shout out to Lean Meme Machine for the thumbnail. You're amazing. Can't wait to talk to you very soon here on the channel. Thank you for that. I love this so much. I'm still laughing about. We're going to take a look at her funny memes, but then we're going to get into some more serious stuff with the bull stuff that I have to dance around for YouTube. But there's a resurfaced interview with Valentine Low, and I very much enjoy his work. I loved reading through his book, so we're going to listen to that because it has to do with Meghan and the bullying accusations. I just think it's too important not to talk about, so we're going to talk about all of it. I'm Jen. Honk honk. Thanks for being here. I want to give a shout out to a special goose, John. Thank you so much. So many people have brought to my attention the shout out you gave me on the live stream with the Sidley twins. So thank you so much for that shout out. I appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy your breakfast. He said he watches me over breakfast, so thank you for that. I just want you to know I saw it. I love it. You're amazing. Thank you so much for watching. All right, let's get into this stuff. Lean Meme Machine once again with this meme. Meghan Markle spends her birthday with her best friends. I love this so much. Yeah, enjoy that. I noticed that Hank of Hank and Skank is not in the picture, but yeah, judging by the interview we just saw, that's no shocker. Now let's look at this. Take R. Kelly, give us back. Tupac said this. Yes, finally, someone addressing the issue that CBS refused to. And Daily Mail is reporting that they were slammed for their links to Boozy. I have a special, disdain toward that guy because he is one of the ones that tried to dox us. Notorious for trolling William and Catherine online after Sussex's, I don't say their title, after those two discussed social media safety. I still cannot get over the ridiculousness of that, which brings me to the important point that I think we should all take a moment and take a look at. I want to give a shout out here to the British Prince too. Who brought this interview back to my attention, to all of our attention, and shared a clip. I think it's important that we watch and we react. Now, I always get comments, Jen, why do you pause and talk over it? Because it's not my interview. I'm a reaction channel. I have to react to it, so I'm reacting to it. If you want to see it uninterrupted, search up the clip. No big deal. All right, so we're going to be taking a look at this clip from Valentine Low and reacting to it. So let's listen in because it's important, and I think this needs to be shared. Here we go.
There were a lot of stories over the years suggesting that Meghan was difficult to work with. There were reports of staff leaving. There were reports of staff in tears.
There's a reason why I love Valentine Low, as you know, because I've read his book. He downplays things a little bit. He doesn't. Sometimes Tom Bauer, I think, just does things to be cliquey. I don't think Valentine Low thinks like that. I actually think he underplays things to let us figure out for ourselves what's going on. So I think he's putting it mildly, is my opinion.
It looked slightly like tabloid fodder. We always knew there was something in them, but we didn't know exactly how much. And now these allegations have come forward. We know that actually there was substance to them because we know that the Duchess's most senior advisor was so concerned about what was going on that he wrote an official email saying that she had been bullying people.
Of course, he's referring to Jason Knopf. We know this. Of all the things I wish I could get my hands on, this is it. Honestly, this is it. I don't care if she's lying. I mean, I do care. I call it out. But about lying 3 days before getting married, blah, all that bullshit that she peddles. It's this. I want to get my hands on the bullying report. And I always get comments saying, Jen, you don't want those people subjected to more. You're right. I don't want them subjected to more. Let's black out their names. But I need to know exactly what we're dealing with here.
It was a very serious situation. And a lot of people talked about, how can you tell the difference between a bully and a demanding boss? It's obviously a legitimate question. But the point is that these people who felt they were bullied, who left their jobs, are still in an emotionally fragile and fraught state today. I mean, literally today. And that speaks not of being spoken harshly by a demanding boss. It speaks of bullying and the psychological effects of that bullying.
I'd also like to remind you that those two spin everything. So when this came out, remember, they tried to say, oh, it was the palace trying to disrupt the Oprah interview, I believe it was, something like that. It's just, they never take any accountability or responsibility for anything they do. It's always everybody else's fault. when there's this many people saying there's a problem, how can you deflect like this? Well, what am I talking about? Of course they're going to do that.
These are people I know. They're not strangers. I speak to them, sometimes often, sometimes rarely, but I know them. And they've come to me because they're concerned. They're concerned about two things. One is that these victims of bullying, their stories that have been told. They're silent victims, their lives have been affected by what they went through. And secondly, they're keen to correct the narrative. They think that Meghan has been having it all her own way. She's portrayed herself as a victim of the royal family. And what they're saying is, actually, it's a more complicated story than that. There are two sides to this, and actually, there are other victims here as well.
There are so many reasons why I feel so strongly about, that's a lot of soap, but about so much of this stuff. And this is one of the things I talk about often. Imagine that you're subjected to this kind of behavior for however long because you couldn't quit. This is your dream job, to work, let's say with the royal family or something. You had hoped to get William and Catherine. You got stuck with Hank and Skank. Imagine you have to tough this out, right? You just don't have any other choices. And then you see this one going on TV crying, I'm the victim. How horrible is that?
I was shocked by what I heard. I mean, I knew that she was difficult. I didn't know how difficult. I didn't know how bad it was, but I was absolutely shocked by what I heard. Harry and Meghan's lawyers, Shillings, are very aggressive. The couple are very litigious, and they will come after any newspaper that they feel has wronged them. They've sued a lot, and they've had victories. But the Times was prepared for this. We spent a long time making sure that all the allegations that we were going to put into the newspaper were absolutely correct, were checked, were double-checked, and we were entirely confident about what our sources were saying and why they were saying it. It was definitely an intensely difficult working environment. People were in tears on a regular basis, as far as I can hear. And if you just hear what people were saying at the time, faced with the prospect of a difficult meeting with the Duchess, people said things like, I feel sick. Things like, I'm shaking, it's ridiculous. And if you just think about your own work environment, if you said that before an encounter with your boss, something's going very wrong, I think.
But again, I call your attention to the spin of it all, because Harry himself addressed this in his book, Spare Us, and said that people were crying at their desks. But then he tried to say it's because they were worried. I think he said something like it was because they were worried about him and William's relationship. No, they weren't. It wasn't that, you prick. Right? It wasn't that. It's because you two are horrible.
Buckingham Palace has got some very serious questions to answer. 2.5 years ago, this advisor to the Duchess submitted these allegations in writing. They went to his boss. He passed them on to HR. And as far as we can tell, can't know for absolute certain, but as far as we can tell, nothing was done. They wanted to make the problem go away.
Yeah, I think they screwed up too. It really bothers me, and I wish I knew more, but I suspect it was to protect Harry and Meghan. So again, that flies in the face of everything they've ever said, which is they always were here to protect. I'm so bad at his accent, but they wanted to protect my brother and not me. No, clearly they were protecting you and your awful wife too. So again, thank you, British Prince, for sharing that. And thank you, Valentine Low, for shedding some light on all that. I think it's important that we talk about it. Now, speaking of talking about, have you seen this? Okay, shared by Jane, and originally shared, I never say your name right, Sabria Lone, I think. Well deserved. Those community notes were needed. Did you see this? They're putting community notes under this, like this page 6 article, for example. Meghan Markle opens up about her experience about being, All right. Well, readers added context to this, saying Meghan Markle is the bull. She bulled staff while she was with the royal family. The bull was exposed by a Times journalist. Again, exactly what Valentine was just addressing. I love this. Keep up the community notes. That's great. And speaking of, did you see that they also added community notes to the Faux royal tour? So it's being reported, they're calling it a royal tour. It's not. This thing to Colombia, it's not a royal tour. So as Andy's mom points out, here's a gentle reminder that wherever the Harkles go, it's not a royal tour. The trip must be under the monarchy and government for it to qualify as royal. These two are not royal anymore. Somebody I'll happily refer to as royal is the royal rogue, who says, it was the face she made when she said, what I have overcome that almost made me lose it during last night's live stream. Absolute perversion. The gall to insert herself in the stories of parents who lost their children to, taking themselves out. Awfulness, right? And yeah, that's exactly why I've been screaming about this. I'm not going to stop talking about it. This is crazy. And yeah, that was her face when she was trying to make it all about herself. Grief grifting. Meme Machine points out keeping up the facade is exhausting work. I notice it's harder and harder to conceal her true self. More and more mass slips are occurring. Delicious. Yeah, I think so too. Again, guys, thank you so much for being here. Dying to know your thoughts on this. I think it's important that we share around that Valentine Low clip, and we continue discussing this and keep adding those community notes. You guys are awesome. Huge thank you to John if you're still watching. Thank you for the shout out on the live stream. I appreciate that. You guys are wonderful. You mean so much to me. You're always so kind to me. I want you to know how much I appreciate it. I am on Twitter. You can find me there. I have a presence on Instagram. I've never, not once, logged into it. So if I look like I'm ignoring you, it's because I don't know how to work it. Jay set it up for me. So don't take it personally. But I love you all. I appreciate you all. I see you shouting me out. And I thank you all for that. And I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. I'll keep calling out the grifters. And I hope you had the best day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.